Brighton's finest.
This is Juice.
For those who don't know you or your music, just a brief outline. You're in a number of bands. Sons of Kemet, The Comet is Coming, and your band with the Ancestors, as it were, Shabaka, Hutchings and the Ancestors.
I think Shabaka and the Ancestors.
Shabaka. And I think you probably guessed with other people, as far as I know. So I was wondering, how do you manage to fit all that in? How do you juggle your diary? Or was it always just a constant struggle to sort things out?
It was maybe up to about a year ago, but at the moment it's a lot more streamlined. So this is the year of Sons of Kemet. So we have a couple of Comet is Coming gigs. But in general, I'm not playing with that many. It's just like last year was mainly Shabaka and the Ancestors gigs. Next year is going to be mainly Comet's Coming gigs. So we're trying to just really compartmentalize the bands that take focus at the moment.
Because you're doing quite a lot with the Kemet, Sons of Kemet band here in the Brighton area. You're doing the Great Escape. You're playing Brainchild Festival, which is fairly close to Brighton, and also headlining your own show as well later in the year in Brighton. And this is all off the back of your Queen is a Reptile album, which came out about a month or so ago. Third album, and your first one for Impulse, legendary jazz label. How did that come about?
They just got in touch with me and said that they really liked the music that I've been making and they want to work with me. It was as simple as that. I didn't have to contact them. They knew what was happening in the UK jazz scene, and they had said that they'd been listening to my music as fans for a while. So they just, when the time was right, decided to reach out and contact me.
Most famously, it released A Love Supreme, of course, John Coltrane's album, 1965. So it must feel like, I don't know how much you delve into the past of jazz as a listener, but obviously it must be just a kind of a privilege or an honor, maybe. I don't know what the right word is to be part of that incredible legacy. Yeah,
I mean, it's an honor because at the end of the day, I am a jazz musician, and the stuff that I play is coming from all the stuff that I've listened to. It includes the Impulse, discography. Obviously, I'm a jazz musician that I want to play the music that reflects who I am, as opposed to play the music that reflects just a kind of pastiche of the music that I happen to like.
Yeah.
So it's not the music that I like isn't necessarily going to be reflected in what I decide to play for an audience. But the music that has actually created the style that I play in, and in the style that most of the musicians that I play with kind of play, is the music stemming from, the kind of Impulse classic period of the kind of mid to late 60s.
And London is your place of birth as well?
Yeah, but I moved to Barbados at 6 and stayed there until 16.
Okay, so what was that? How did that inform your sort of musical education, if it did in any way?
Well, I guess it informed it, and I started playing music there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I guess one of the ways in that, I guess it was non-typical of the kind of musical education that you get in England, is that there weren't that many parameters attached to what you could or should do, musically speaking. Like you could study classically and still play jazz or calypso or reggae music. You weren't typecast as one type of musician in accordance to what music or what instrument you were chosen to play.
So your Queen is a Reptile is the third album, as I mentioned already, and it's basically it's a series of songs with the title My Queen Is, and then it lists various females, black females who've basically made major contributions in sort of all sorts of spheres, social, political, and so forth. Including Angela Davis, of course, Doreen Lawrence, who's the mother of Stephen Lawrence, Harriet Tubman, and your grandmother, Ada Eastman.
Yeah, great grandmother. Yeah,
great grandmother. Okay, did you know her? Did you ever meet her? Do you remember her?
Yeah, she lived until 103. So all the time I was in Barbados, she was alive.
103, not bad, eh?
Yeah.
So you've written a song about her or alluding to her. Can you say why you decided to do that?
it's just a homage. It's looking at the whole reason for writing tunes for any of the women are trying to look at the qualities that these women, I guess, espouse. That we should be trying to revere. If you're trying to think about what the concept of leadership is, what we're supposed to see our leaders as people that we look up to and receive guidance from. And for me, one of the greatest forms of inspiration I've gotten from my great grandmother is the fact that you can persevere through life and you can actually really make your situation better from the generation before.
Brighton's finest.
This is Juice.
The album title and the sleeve notes referred to the British monarchy and basically how it does not represent black immigrants. And there's a quote: "Your queen is not our queen. She does not see us as human." And so the track titles all refer to influential black women throughout history. Is that a fair summation?
Yeah, it's a fair summation, and one element. There's lots of different elements to do with why we called the album that, and to do with the kind of liner notes. But in summary, that is correct.
So the quote, "Your queen is not our queen. She does not see us as human." Is that a lyric in the song, or is that part of just the overall kind of concept, as it were?
That's part of the overall concept, because the liner notes don't appear on any song on the album.
Yeah. Okay. So can I focus on a couple of people that you talk about, because I'm obviously not familiar, and I'm sure a lot of people on this show aren't familiar with some of these people, but it'd be good to find out a bit more. For instance, Harriet Tubman. Can you tell us a bit about her and why you decided that you wanted to focus on her for one song?
So Harriet Tubman was an ex-slave that was freed and decided to form what was called the Underground Railroad, which was a means of transporting slaves from the South of America to the North. And I decided to write the tune for her because of thinking about what it means to actually serve one's community after one has had a position of prominence, in some ways attained one's freedom. What do you do after that? Do you bask in that freedom, or do you try to change the lives of the people that are still, receiving the kind of blunt end of oppression?
Okay, so just with regards to the album again, you wrote and you play sax on the album. The other people playing on the album are Theon Cross, who plays tuba, Seb Rochford, and Tom Skinner playing drums. Seb Rochford, many people will remember from bands like Polar Bear. And also Congo Natty is featured on there, as well as performance poet Josh Idehen. Can you tell me how a typical Sons of Kemet song comes about? Is it based on just you playing solo, coming up with some ideas, some melodies, some riffs, or is there a lyric? I mean, for instance, in this case, this album, does the lyrics play the leading role?
In some ways, no, because I kind of, I've got a strange relationship with concepts and music, in that I think normally I'll write music within a period of thinking about a certain conceptual idea. But I don't think that it's appropriate to write music directly based on that concept.
Right.
So I write music within the same time period of thinking about certain ideas, and then once music is written, I'll attach them to whatever idea I think is applicable. But I think music is formulaic, maybe, or based on your idea or impression of what a concept is supposed to sound like.
Yeah. Thanks very much. I just quickly ask you about The Great Escape. I don't know if you've played The Great Escape before. I think you have. You're playing at Patton's on Saturday night, 10 p.m. You're not doing any other gigs while you're in town, are you? As part of the alternative or secret gigs that you want to tell me about?
No.
Okay, fair enough. And then the Brainchild Festival, which is in mid-July, which is happening fairly close to Brighton, and then you're headlining a tour, including a date in Brighton later in the year. So you say that Sons of Kemet is basically what you're focusing on this year, and then you'll be returning to the Comets coming next year?
Yeah, we're still doing some festivals with Comets coming throughout the year, but the main focus is Sons of Kemet. But we release a new Comets Coming album next year, early in the year, so then that next year will be focused on touring that album.
Yeah.
Brighton's finest.
This is Juice.